So I'm going to be going on someone's channel soon, next week, and we're doing a top three um, favorite trilogies in horror, top three favorite part threes, and top three favorite third acts because it's his third show and there's going to be three of us. So I came up with the idea of, well, why don't we run with that? Three of us, third episode. Let's do threes. It'll be the three threes for the threes presented by the threes. But anyways, because of that, it brought up some trilogies, and I was like, what are some of my favorite trilogies? And the Gates of Hell trilogy by Lucio Fulci came to mind, and I was like, well, I've done The Beyond, and I've done City of the Living Dead, but I have not done the final film, House by the Cemetery. So I had to do it. And yeah, I will say this. I have the Blu-ray. It's over there. It's the triple pack from Blue Underground. And I'll tell you, Blue Underground is very hit and miss with their transfers, but this one's beautiful. This one's great. This is a great cleanup here. So good on them for putting out such a beautiful transfer of this. And then the other thing that the Gates of Hell trilogy have in common, besides Lucille Fulci, is that Catherine McCall, I think, is in all three of them as the main character of the film, but they're completely unrelated stories. They just, have that similar theme, much like John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy or Dario Argento's Three Mothers trilogy. So none of those films are technically related, whether it be The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness, or like Argento's Suspiria, Inferno, and the Mother of Tears. I was like, the Three Mothers. No, that's the name of the trilogy, you dumb fuck. But anyways, all right, so let's talk about House by the Cemetery. Now, I'm kind of on a Fulci kick at the moment. I was watching Manhattan Baby earlier, which I've actually never seen, and I own. I own a lot of his films, and there's a few of them I haven't seen, and Manhattan Baby was one of them, and I kind of put it off because it's not one of his more revered films, but I always wanted to watch it because it's horror and it's Fulci, and of course. And fuck, man, I'm like an hour into it, and I'm bored out of my mind with that movie, so I don't know, man. I don't know if I have fucking reviews coming on that one. I have like barely anything written down. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, but this one I got a fuck ton of notes on, so let's get going. So we get opening tits here. Always good. Always good. And the girl's beautiful, so good on Fulci there. And the kills in the opening are great. We'll go with good. They're good. And the music is fucking just fantastic. I mean, I feel like if Italian cinema has anything going for it, if I had to pick like one thing, it would either be obviously style, and part of that style is their unique sound. It's about the music, and the music, man. The music of Italian cinema might be the most important piece, but stylistic choices, shot selection, stuff like that, of course, as well. But I don't know, man. Music is so key. It's so key, and it does not lack in this film. Even in Manhattan Baby, the music is great. It's just the movie, unfortunately for me, we'll see, maybe the last 30 minutes kills. You never know. Then we get this really creepy photo of this like little kid in a window, and she's like screaming. Now remember, this is Italian cinema in the 80s. This shit's not going to make much sense. So let's just preface that right now, because there's so many things that you're not going to understand. But anyway, I like how the kid sees it, and this is Bob. Good old Bob. this little kid who's also one of the stars of Manhattan Baby. This kid has worked on a bunch of stuff, but this kid also has, much like the kid from the Shining miniseries, he's a very punchable face. just a very punchable face. This little kid, I don't know, there's something about him. He looks like a porcelain doll or some shit. He's got such a bizarre look to him that it makes me want to punch him in the face. Yes. But anyways, he sees the little girl in the window, and he brings it to his mother's attention, and the mom can't see it, and then he can. And this actually kind of reminds me of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, depending on your region. But when Harry gets the Albus Dumbledore card, and then he looks back and he's gone, and Ron's like, "You don't expect him to hang out all day, do you?" Like, that's funny. That's kind of that poster reminds me, or that painting reminds me of. It's like the kid sees her and then she's gone, and it's like, well, you don't expect her to hang out all day. You couldn't help but think that. Anyways, the kid's dub voice. So what happens with a lot of these Italian horror movies is like, they want to shoot them in English, market them towards an English audience, where a lot of the money is, and they will shoot these things in English, and the actors will speak in English, but their accents are so strong that then they'll redub, or I should say dub. They're not redubbing, but they're redoing the audio. So they like redo the audio with other voice actors over these people. So it's like, it's a really weird thing where it's like dubbed and not dubbed. It doesn't match up, but they are saying what they're saying there. The film is shot in English. Now, the kids in this movie were actually talking in Italian, but then they dubbed English over them. But the adults were speaking in English and then were dubbed in English. And then you can watch the Italian version with Italian voice actors redoing the stuff, and the acting there, the voices and everything, sound much better. But this is Italian cinema. You would think this would be in Italian, and that the English dubbing would be English dubbing over Italian speaking mouths, but it's not. It's a very weird thing that you don't see very often outside of Italian cinema. And then we got Fulci making a cameo here as one of the doctors that this guy's talking to, and then they're talking about like some suicide research that they were doing at not Garth. That's Hell Night. This is Freudstein. It's like Frankenstein, but Freudstein. And then this little girl, who I guess is dead throughout the movie. I don't know. I got a rare visit from this kitty that's scared of everybody, and she came over and just let me pet her. Wow, I feel very honored. But this little girl sees this mannequin who ends up being the basic doppelganger likeness of this other girl that comes into the movie, who is also in the Beyond. But anyway, I think she's also in Inferno as well. Dario Argento's Inferno. I don't remember. Anyway, she looks just like this mannequin, and then the mannequin loses its head very violently, and it's like the scariest fucking mannequin I've ever seen in my life. But then later in the film, to mirror that, she loses her head as well. Now, whether or not that little girl has premonitions and she can see the future, I guess. But as I said, she's also dead throughout the movie. Oh my God, please stop yawning. I don't want to yawn anymore. It's fucking frustrating me much more than it is you, trust me. Anyone who's like, oh my God, this guy's yawning, he's more bored with himself than I am. That may be true, but I am definitely not. It's pissing me off. Anyway. Um, and the wife in this is on medication that makes her think she's seeing things. So that kind of explains how she's able to put up with some of it, but something happens later that, of course, doesn't make any sense as usual, but we'll get there. They talk about Bob taking a nap. He's like 10. Who the fuck, what kid takes a nap at 10? I mean, I guess they exist, but my kids haven't taken a nap. They're almost 8. They haven't taken a nap since they were like 2 or 3. Like, they do not take naps. It's just not a thing in my house. Never, ever, ever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Anne, the babysitter, who's the one that looks like the likeness of the mannequin, she is in Inferno. She shows up. And then Freudstein, which I think was the original title for this film. So that's pretty cool. But House by the Cemetery, or Freudstein. House by the Cemetery. Much better name. And then, okay, so then the dad goes upstairs and he tucks his kid in who's like already asleep. And it's like the weirdest tuck in I've ever seen. Like, the dad sits down next to him, pulls the blanket, and then like slightly adjusts the kid's legs and then puts the blanket back over him. But there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for it. Like, I think this is just supposed to be this little, like, cute moment with his son where he's showing that he cares about him. He's tugging him in, but they couldn't come up with a better reason than just, like, him pulling down the covers to slightly manipulate his legs for literally no reason at all that I could see. I was just like, what is happening right now? Why are you taking the blankets off your kids to adjust his legs? Just... I noticed this. I couldn't help but bring it up. And then, of course, we've got Fulci. So we got an obsession with eyes. There's so many eyes in this movie. And for another man with a daughter. Yeah, that's not that important. Sometimes I write down notes and I'm like, is that really that important to talk about? Dr. Freudstein was back in 1879, so he's been around a long fucking time, about 100 years. And then the wife actually stumbles upon like a coffin in the house, buried in the floorboards of the house. Yeah, most people are going to run out the door when they see that. Most people. Like, would you want to stay in a place where you found under the rug or whatever a fucking tomb, like a coffin with a dead body in it, like in your kitchen? What? No. What? That's crazy. And then the wife is just attacked by a bat, and which is funny because I just watched Suspiria last night, and same thing. Susie Banion's attacked by a bat. But anyways, this woman's attacked by a bat, and her husband just kind of casually sits there for so long before he does anything. For so long. The scene goes on forever. She just keep getting attacked by this bat, and then the husband's finally like, all right, I guess I'll help. And then I like how the bat is like stabbed, and then like when it's stabbed, blood comes shooting out of it from like 5 different holes on its body. Was it like multiply stabbed before this scene? The blood coming out of like tons of holes in it. What? Where's this blood? I get it, it's a cool visual, but it makes no fucking sense. And then I like when he's doing that, Bob's standing there and blood just sprays all over the kid. That's great. And then this chick gets stabbed a bunch, and then she's stabbed in the neck, and blood just starts exploding. Oh, it's great. And they just focus on it forever. You can't help but love Fulci's just, overuse of gore. Never over for me, but for most people. Then someone gets their throat slit, and this happens multiple times in the movie where they show it from like different angles, but every single time they change the angle, they also re-show the slit happening from the beginning. I will say this, the slit throat is fantastic. It's fucking fantastic. It's great effects work for this kind of film. And this is just her kind of getting her head sawed off, like we saw with the mannequin scene earlier. And then Bob tries to run away, and something is like pulling at his arm that we can't see. So, is there some supernatural entity that has the ability to hold a child hostage so that he can't run away, but then he lets him go at the very last second before he gets to him? Like, it's to add tension to the movie and this and that, but I just don't understand, like, how that works. The film is like about a mad scientist doctor who has been able to, prolong his life, and kind of put his death on hold for, over 100 years. But somehow the movie's also supernatural. Like, the kid is being controlled by an unseen force. So it's just like, what? What is happening now? So I don't understand that scene but then there's supernatural stuff at the end as well with the little girl that he sees in like the ghost realm or whatever. I don't understand any of that stuff. And I love how like after like the girl is beheaded and she's not found and this kid's been left there all alone and whatever, she tells the wife tells the husband, like, we're done, we're out of here, we're going, it has to be tomorrow, like, it can't be any longer. Why she would even want to stay in the house is beyond me, but she is like, look, tomorrow we're gone. And then like the next scene is the husband coming to her and being like, yeah, I gotta go to New York for like a day or two tomorrow, so all is well. And she's like, okay, and she's like totally fine and totally happy, and spends the night there and gets up the next day and just hanging out in the house. And it's like, wow, you really don't put your foot down when you mean like we need to leave, even when your kid's fucking life hangs in the balance. So very weird. But then we cut to mom with no bra on and a shirt over it, and whew, damn, these Italian women, let me tell you what. And then after being like, no way, absolutely not happening, we're not staying here, she just like tells her kid to go to bed, like, it's time for bed, and is like so casual about it, like, well, I guess we're staying here tonight, no big deal, my husband doesn't give a shit about me at all, but oh well, too bad, so sad. And yeah, I mean, she just like casually just goes to sleep in a house she's completely terrified of it. When she's so adamant on we leave today, we leave tomorrow, and that's it, final straw, and it's like, nope. And that's so funny. And then we get some eyes that light up in the darkness. This reminds me of Suspiria as well. And there's a face pushed against the door. Oh, so somebody's pushed against the door and their mouth isn't covered, and there's like someone in the vicinity to hear it, and this person doesn't speak or like make any noise, and I don't understand at all why. I was watching this and I was like, why isn't this person screaming? Why isn't this person like, I'm confused. But with movies like this, you can't really analyze them too much. The little girl in this that was in the painting, she seems to have access to The Shining, which is basically what I feel this movie is loosely inspired by, is um, you know, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, or Stephen King, if you will. And then a character starts hacking at a door with an axe. Sound familiar? And when we finally get to see Dr. Freudstein, he looks like a melted candle. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with his look, but the look of the killer is not good. It's not good. It's not impressive. It's pretty shoddy. But I still like it. Weirdly. I think it's a failure in that way. And we find out that he needs new cells to live. And when he's stabbed, all that's inside his body is like rotting flesh and maggots that just fall out of him, which is disgusting. I don't know how he's alive. And then Dr. Freudstein grabs the dad and rips his throat out Dalton style. And the music always just stops abruptly in movies like this. It's just like they didn't have proper editing techniques. Like, I don't understand. Maybe it's a choice. It just seems so out of place when the music stops, like, drastically. But anyway. And there's, like, the slowest stalking scene ever. The kid is like on the door, let me in, mommy, let me in. And Dr. Freudstein is taking his sweet ass time. Now, granted, the guy is filled with maggots and rotting flesh, so probably not the best combination for him to walk at a brisk pace. So we'll go with that. And I like that the basement stairs lead up to the coffin. So, like, underneath that is not just a dead body, but like a hidden laboratory. And then when the mom is pulled down the stairs, her face hits so many stairs on the way down. But the actual stairwell that we see that goes up to the exit is like 5 stairs. So it's just like boom, 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 boom. It just goes on forever. And you're like, where are all these stairs coming from? They're in a 1-story basement. I mean, how many stairs could there possibly be to just get outside? Just, it's fucking ridiculous. And then the mom tries to get out by pushing aside the concrete slab or whatever of the coffin, and she can't do it, and she gets herself killed. But then the little girl, who's I guess a ghost and maybe has superpowers, I don't know, but she comes and she grabs it and she moves it out of the way. So the mom can't do it in like that fit of anxiety ridden like adrenaline. But the little kid who's like casually doing it, like moves it out of the way, pretty much no problem. And then they get out of there, and then the grandma or something is like taking them off into the ghost realm. So the kid didn't stand a chance. Did he die? Was that them kind of like ushering him into this new era of his life? Like, I'm super confused by this ending. So Fulci fans who've seen this shit a million times, please explain it to my dumb ass, because I struggle with Italian cinema a lot of the times. I'm just like, why is this happening? I don't know. But anyways, I just randomly did this one for myself. It's a fun film. If you haven't seen much Italian, you should change that, and you should go watch Argento's work with Suspiria and Tenebrae and whatever, Cat of Nine Tails, or maybe Opera, or the dude has a lot of good stuff before his career started going downhill and before he made that dreadful Dracula 3D movie. or you should check out Fulci and check out The Beyond and check out, Zombie 2 or Zombie Flesh Eaters, or check these people out. Lamberto Bava, Umberto Lenzi, or go and do your Italian research. Mario Bava, of course. But yeah, I do really enjoy this stuff. I'm just not an expert, and I know there are people out there that are like diehards and know so much more about this shit than I would ever do. But I'm just doing my style on it. I'm just having fun discussing it, sounding like a dipshit who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm just here to have fun and discuss movies with you guys. Anyone who takes it any more seriously than that does not get this channel at all, and good fucking riddance. And speaking of which, I'm tired as fuck. I've yawned like 15 times now throughout these last 2 videos, and clearly I just need to go to bed. I thought I was going to watch another movie tonight, but, it is what it is. I don't think I can finish Manhattan, baby. That's for damn sure. Anyways, adios.